At the heart of each nation lies its national museum, a testament to its history and heritage. Step into a realm of captivating exhibits, where the past and present converge. In a land where ancient civilizations once flourished, where vibrant cultures interweave with breathtaking landscapes, a world of wonder awaits. Welcome to the realm of South American museums.
Hello everybody, I am Von LC Amares and I will be your tour guide from your favorite museums from the Latin American countries of Argentina and Chile. Are you guys ready? Come on, let's go!
The Argentine National Historical Museum. This is not only a historical or national museum, but it is also a archaeological site. It is located in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and is a museum dedicated to the history of Argentina, exhibiting objects relating to the May Revolution and the Argentine War of Independence. It is established on 1889, and the location is Defensa, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Next, National Museum of Fine Arts is an aesthetic wonderland. The collection sprawls across 30 rooms and 3 floors, showcasing international art from the Middle Ages to the 20th century. Inside, works of Rembrandt, Goya, Manet, Modigliani, and Picasso hang on the walls. Established 1896, location Buenos Aires, Argentina. Let's now move on to the local museums. First, Museum of Latin American Art of Buenos Aires. The Museum of Latin America Art of Buenos Aires was established as a progressive institution and cultural center that will promote the artistic and cultural achievements of contemporary Latin Americans. Established 2001, location Buenos Aires. Next, specialized science. Planetarium Galileo Galilei. The 1960s built planetarium resembling a UFO is located in the Parque 3 de Febrero in Palermo. It has a main projection room with a 20-meter dome and reclinable seats for viewing projections of the stars and planets. Established 1996, location Buenos Aires. Next, WAR, the Naval Museum, is a permanent non-profit institution at the service of society and its development open to the public. Established 1892, location Buenos Aires. Next, Children's Museum, the Alto Rosario Children's Museum. It is an interactive museum that recreates the spaces of a city where children can play to be doctors, cameramen, captains, and etc. Established 2007, location Rosario, Argentina. Let's now move on to the country of Chile. The Chilean National Museum of Natural History. It is located in Quinta Normal Park, founded on September 14, 1830 by the French naturalist Claude Gay. Established 1830, location Santiago, Chile. Next, the Chilean National Museum of Fine Arts, located in Santiago, Chile, is one of the major centers for Chilean art and broader South American art. Next, science. The Museo Paleontológico de Caldera is a natural history museum specializing in paleontology. It is located in the Commune Caldera within the Estación Cultural Center, better known as Estación Caldera. Its collections are made up of fossils from the Miocene and Middle Pliocene. Established 2006, location Boiler, Argentina. Next, WAR, Historical and Weapons Museum of Arica, located in an old fort in the War of the Pacific. When Arica was the greatest Peruvian fortress, Chilean soldiers occupied the hill with defenses towards the sea and land. Established 1974, location Arica, Chile. Last but not the least, Children's Museum, Museo Interactivo Audiovisual. The Children's History Museum Place is located on Santiago metropolitan area. So that's all, guys. I hope you enjoy.
Hello everyone, I am Mainville S. Bulagaw and I will be your tour guide for Suriname and Trinidad Tobago.
The Museum Baki is located to Comenweni, Eastern District. Baki is the last inhabited plantation on the right bank of Kuwihini River. The founders of Museum Baki are Masha Moron and Bas Speak. The Suriname Museum is located inside the Fort Zeelandia, the site where British and Dutch colonists first arrived in Suriname. In 1947, Stichting Suriname Museum was founded in order to preserve the cultural heritage of Suriname. Children Museum Villa Zapacara. In Villa Zapacara, children can satisfy their curiosity through interactive introduction to art, music, dance, and other creative expression from around the world. The National Museum and Art Gallery is the National Museum of Trinidad and Tobago in Port of Spain of Trinidad Island. It is located at the top of Frederick Street. The National Cocoa and Chocolate Museum and Heritage Complex houses a host of artifacts from historic cocoa plantation. Indian Caribbean Museum, located near at the famous temple in the sea at Waterloo, Trinidad. The Indian Caribbean Museum is the only one of its kind in the world. No other museum is dedicated to the preservation of material history of over 1 million descendants at East Indians. Zamzam Museum is a new Caribbean enterprise in children entertainment. Zamzam delivers creative and interactive experiences in which children can immerse themselves. The Chaguaramas Military History and Aerospace Museum is located just off the western main road in Chaguaramas. An extensive section is devoted to the conquistadors and 300 years of Spanish rule and ending with the British capture of the island in 1797.
Good day, everyone. I am Maria Nicolette Elia, and I will be your tour guide for Brazil and Colombia. Let's go.
So this is the National Museum of Colombia, or in Spanish, Museo Nacional de Colombia, is the National Museum of Colombia housing collections on its history, art, and culture. It was established on July 28, 1823, and it is located in Bogota, downtown. This is Casa del Marqués de San Jorge. This local archaeological museum in an 18th century mansion showcases the country's finest examples of pre-Columbian ceramics. It is located in Bogota, Colombia. This is Casa Museo Pablo Escobar, and it is a specialized museum and it details the rise and fall of Pablo Escobar as told by his brother Roberto Escobar. It is located in Medellin, Colombia. The museum exhibits Incubar. This one is Villa de Leyva, and it is an archaeological site and a town in Colombia. The town is a Colombian National Heritage Town and is on the tentative list for UNESCO World Heritage Site. Moving on, this is Ciudad Perdida. Ciudad Perdida, Spanish for Lost City, is the historical and archaeological site of an ancient city in the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta of Colombia. So this one is the National Museum of Brazil, or in Portuguese, Museo Nacional, and it is the oldest scientific institution of Brazil. It is located in the city of Rio de Janeiro. It was established on June 6, 1818. So this one is Pinacoteca do Estado de São Paulo. The Pinacoteca do Estado de São Paulo, or Portuguese for Pinacoteca or Picture Gallery, is a local art museum of the state of São Paulo. It is the oldest art museum in São Paulo, founded on December 24, 1905, and established as a public state museum since 1911. Hang in there because we still have 3 more to go. This one is Espacio Cultural da Marina. It is a specialized maritime museum in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And this one is about the history of navigation at a museum with boat trips. This museum is located near the Port Authority and is dedicated to the art of navigation through the Visitors ages. Will find a fairly good display of models depicting old vessels as well as samples of regional boats. Now moving on to the next one. This is Serra da Capivara National Park. Serra da Capivara National Park is a national park in the northeastern region of Brazil. Moving on to the last one in the list. This is Christ the Redeemer, and it is a historical site in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Christ the Redeemer is located atop Corcovado Mountain, which provides stunning views of Rio de Janeiro below. And hope you keep this in mind when you plan on traveling to both the countries.
Hello everyone, I am Kim Hazel Ragay and I will be your tour guide for Ecuador and Venezuela. Come on, let's go!
First, we have the National Museum, Museo Camilo Egas. This is an Ecuadorian art museum about the modernist painter Camilo Egas. It was established in 1980 and is located in Quito, Ecuador. Up next is the Museo Nacional. This is located in the circular glass-plated landmark building of the Casa de la Cultura. This is one of the country's largest collections of Ecuadorian art. The museum collection includes more than 1,000 ceramic pieces dating from 12,000 BC. Moving on, we have the Pumapungo Museum, or in Spanish, Museo Pumapungo. Not only is it an archaeological site, it is also an ethnographic and art museum in Cuenca, Ecuador. The museum was founded in 1979. The name Pumapungo means Puma Bridge. In 2019, the museum temporarily exhibited 37 works by Salvador Dali. Up next is the Guayaquil Municipal Museum, or in Spanish, Museo Municipal de Guayaquil. This is a museum in Guayaquil, Ecuador. It contains artifacts, objects, and historical items relating to the history of Guayaquil. The museum has its origins in 1863 when an industrial museum was started by the politician and writer Pedro Carbo Noboa. Museum of Aboriginal Cultures. This is located in Cuenca, Ecuador. The founder of the Aboriginal Cultures Museum is Juan Cordero Iniguez. The museum preserves an extensive collection of more than 15,000 items covering Ecuador's rich and diverse history. Museo Templo del Sol Pintor Ortega Maila is a masterpiece built by the indigenous painter and sculptor Ortega Maila after a great research of design and ancestral architecture to maintain his art and culture of the Andes. This is located in Quito, Ecuador. Plaza y Museo del Cacao, Ecuador. The museum was designed as a space to discover and explore one of the most valued intangible heritages they have, which was cocoa, and it is located in Quito, Ecuador. Museo Casa de Sucre. This mansion is the restored former home of Mariscal Antonio José de Sucre, the hero of Ecuadorian independence. This is now a small museum full of early 19th century furniture. Displays include the household shopping list for Simon Bolivar's visit in June 1822. It is also located in Quito, Ecuador. The Museum of Fine Arts, or in Spanish, Museo de Bellas Artes. This is an art museum in Caracas, Venezuela. It was founded in 1917 and was originally housed in the building now known as the Palacio de las Academias. The collections include ceramics and ancient Egyptian art. The National Art Gallery, or Galeria de Arte Nacional, is located in the Plaza Morelos area of Caracas, Venezuela. Founded in 1976, the museum holds over 7,000 works in its collection. Museo de Ciencias Naturales is a natural history museum inside the Instituto Nacional de Biodiversidad in Parque La Carolina. This was established in 2005 and it is still located in Quito, Ecuador.
Hi everyone, I am James Anton F. Ciplan and I'll be your tour guide for Panama and Paraguay. Let's go.
The Museum of Contemporary Art of Panama, or in Spanish, Museo de Arte Contemporáneo de Panama, is one of the local museums in Panama, and it is popularly called MAC Panama. This is the only museum of contemporary art that exists in Panama. The institution was founded in 1962. Moving on to the Mola Museum. Mola Museum houses the enriching history behind the mola. This textile craft is composed of several layers of fabrics that have geometric designs. The museum was inaugurated on December 1st, 2019 and is owned by the Alberto Mota Foundation. And lastly, we have Explora Science Museum. Museum Explora Science Center is the museum of the state of Guanajuato, was created in November 1994. This interactive center aims to promote understanding of the world from a scientific perspective. The National Museum of Fine Arts of Asunción, or in Spanish, Museo Nacional de Bellas Artes de Asunción, located on MCAL Estigarribia and Iturbide Street in Asunción. The capital city of Paraguay displays over 650 works of art. The museum was founded in 1909 by the collector Silvano Godoy. Moving on to Independence House Museum. The Independence House Museum is a museum where visitors can learn about the history of Paraguay. It is located in Asunción and was the place where Paraguay's independence was declared in 1811. The museum currently has a lot of historic documents and objects on display. Lastly, Museo del Barro. Museo del Barro is a museum located on the outskirts of Asunción, the capital of Paraguay. It includes 3 separate divisions: a pottery museum, an indigenous art museum, and a contemporary art collection.
Hola chicos, my name is Dominic Balinas and I will be your tour guide for Bolivia and Peru.
The Larco Museum is a national museum located in Lima, Peru. It houses a remarkable collection of pre-Columbian art and artifacts, primarily from ancient Peru. The next is Museum of Contemporary Art of Lima. It's a vibrant local museum dedicated to showcasing temporary art from Peru and around the world. The Museum of the Nation in Peru is a specialized science museum that focuses on various aspects of Peruvian history, culture, and natural heritage. The next is Museo de la Memoria, Tolerancia y Derechos Humanos in Peru. It's a specialized war museum that commemorates the history of armed conflict and human rights violations in the country. The Museo de los Niños in Peru is a specialized children's museum that offers interactive exhibits and educational activities designed to engage and inspire young learners. The next is the National Museum of Ethnography and Folklore in Bolivia is dedicated to showcasing diverse cultural heritage of the country's indigenous people. The last and not the least, the Museo de los Niños Simón y Patino in Bolivia is a specialized children's museum dedicated to providing engaging and educational experience for young visitors.
Hello everyone, my name is Samantha Academia and I am your tour guide for the country Guyana and Uruguay. Here we have their national museum, which is the Guyana National Museum. The Guyana National Museum is a museum in Georgetown, Demerara, Mahaica, Guyana. The idea of starting a museum was conceived by the members of the Royal Agricultural and Commercial Society, RACS, of British Guyana. It was established in February 13, 1868. The Rapununi River Society is also associated with the Walter Roth Museum of Anthropology in Georgetown. This association is designed to promote and enhance awareness of Guyanese indigenous cultures. This museum was established in 1994. Finally, the museum specializes in science, specifically in archaeology. The Walter Roth Museum of Anthropology was founded in 1974 with the collections of Guyanese archaeology, established in 1974. Now, let's move on to the museums in Uruguay. In the national category, we have National Museum of Visual Arts, or also known as the Museo Nacional de Artes Visuales. This museum is located at Parque Rodó, Montevideo, and was established in December 10, 1911. The next museum is one of the local museums in Uruguay named Juan Manuel Blanes Municipal Museum of the Arts, or also known in Spanish Museo de Bellas Artes Juan Manuel Blanes, and was established in 1930. And last but not the least, a museum specialized in science as well, specifically in technologies, Museo del Hombre y la Tecnología, or also known as Museum of Man and Technology. The location of the museum is at Salto Department, Uruguay, and was established between 1909 to 1915.